This one could be rough. Let's just mentally prepare. It could be rough.
Yeah.
But also, I want you to get ahead of your happiness. I want you to establish now what would make you happy so you can allow yourself to be happy. It's become trendy. I feel like trendy's become an insult too. It's become trendy to hate on Bryce Young, to say everything he's doing wrong, to say everything he's not, to say how he's not C.J. Stroud, to say how he's not Cam Newton as a rookie, to say he's not all of these things. So listen, different strokes for different folks. That's fair, okay? If you believe those things, fine. I'm not going to tell you what you should or shouldn't believe, but I do think you should be open to changing your opinion if he plays better, if he develops, if he does the things that you are mad that he doesn't do. The problem is once you get that first impression of someone, and this is how first impressions work, right? They're hard to change. So you may say like, gosh, I wish he wouldn't turn the ball over so much, and you're mad at him for it. Then if he comes up today, or this weekend I should say, and doesn't turn the ball over, you're going to go, well, he didn't make any big plays. It's like, all right, you're moving your goalposts a little bit here, right? You're changing what you're asking of him. So I want you to establish what has he not done well, and what could he do to get you on his side, or to move, like we have the Bryceometer, right? To move the meter a little bit more favorably in your perspective. For me, it's two things, right? I look at what he has not done well that has made me, dance down the glass half empty side. Two things. One, hasn't had enough big plays, and two, hasn't protected the football. Let's break them down one at a time. Big plays. He has only averaged 5.2 yards per attempt. I mean, that's a good running back, right? That's like Nick Chubb carries yards per rush.
For those who may not know what yards per attempt is, so if you look at the total number of passing attempts by Bryce Young, you divide his total yards by the number of pass attempts, not just completions, but total pass attempts. That's where we get the yards per
exactly.
attempt.
Every time he drops back to pass and releases the football, so doesn't take a sack and doesn't run with it, on average, he's picking up 5.2 yards per attempt. That's a problem. Mm-hmm. You throw to get chunk plays. He's tied for the worst amongst all starters in the NFL, all starting quarterbacks in the NFL with 5.2 yards per pass attempt. His longest completion is 30 yards. All season, his longest pass completion is 30 yards, which is this is kind of an oxymoron, right? It's the shortest, longest completion of any starter in the NFL.
Bruh.
So he needs to push the ball downfield. He needs to make the defense respect the entirety of the field. If they feel they don't even have to cover your receivers 30 yards or more downfield, they'll be pretty good at guarding the 30 yards closest to the line of scrimmage. Two, protecting the football. And I said this yesterday, but it's a stat that bears repeating. 6 turnovers in 4 games for Bryce Young. Only Mac Jones across the entire NFL averages more turnovers per game than Bryce Young. And every coach from Pop Warner to the pros will tell you, protect the football.
And Mac Jones isn't very good.
Mac Jones having a rough one. He's not finishing games very often.
No.
Job security is ball security is something that was screamed at me a billion times. That's a dangerous combination, to be turning the ball over and not having the big plays, because you would think to solve one, it's going to make the other a bigger problem, right? To push the ball downfield more, to hunt more big plays, you're going to have to be a little bit more risky, a little bit more reckless, so maybe the turnovers would go up. I'm establishing right now that I need both. I need Bryce Young and that offense to chase big plays and protect the football more. That's tough, right? That's like saying drive your car faster and get less speeding tickets. It's kind of, again, second oxymoron reference to the show. It's kind of an oxymoron. But guess what? When you're playing poor, I mean, it's the NFL, right? This is not the minor leagues. It's going to be tough to improve. So I'm establishing right now, right? If he passes, if he has, I'm not even asking for the world, right? I'm not asking for much. if he has 2 passes completed for more than 30 yards and 0 turnovers, I will come in here on Monday very happy with Bryce Young. 2 passes of 30 yards or more completed and 0 turnovers. I will come in here when we talk about Bryce Young, I will be upbeat, I will be cheerful, I will be the sunshine in your afternoon. Even if Miami puts up 60, right?
Not his fault.
they could lose by 28 points. If I get a couple of big plays and ball protection, can we make a pact to be pleased on Monday with Bryce Young? We can be as mad as we want at Evero in the defense. We can be as mad as we want at the offensive line if the running game can. There's other things we could get our aggressive negative yayas out on. But if Bryce Young does that, can we agree not to bring up C.J. Stroud and Cam Newton and Andy Dalton's one game as a starter? Can we agree to just look at Bryce Young and say the things that we were most upset at you for, you're working on? Because that's what the rest of this season is about. That's what the rest of this season is about the coaching staff, Bryce Young, and the rest of the players on that offense doing everything they can for Bryce Young to improve. If you can win some games along the way, that's fantastic. If you can make that pick that you gave to the Bears not in the top 5, that's even better. But that's icing on the cake. If you develop Bryce Young, we should come in here most Mondays having seen improvement, having seen like quantifiable progress in things like yards per attempt, things like turnovers, things like touchdown passes and effectiveness in the red zone. We should be able to see tangible progress and come in here on Monday happy. Now it's up to the coaching staff and the players to get that done. Frank Reich has an idea. He's going to simplify the offense for his young quarterback. Here's the head coach and the reason for simplifying.
Every coach would tell you when you're 0-5, what's the answer? Do more? No. The answer is do less. Every coach, the history of the NFL, hey, we're 0-5, we're 0-3, we're 0-4. Do less. Do less. Does that mean you gave them too much? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know the answer to that. I just know we got to get better. We got to, the insanity is doing the same thing, right? I mean, so that's what we do as coaches. Not for the quarterback, for the whole team. We did it on offense, we did it on defense, we did it on special teams. Simplify, simplify, simplify. Do the basics. Let the players play fast. Sometimes it takes that to do it, and sometimes that was the answer, and that's why. Sometimes it just works out to get you back on track and in rhythm.
Now I disagree with that as a sentiment. I don't think you should be simplifying for Bryce Young when you drafted him for his brain. I think you should be helping him catch up to speed with the offense you want to run. And if it's a complicated offense, let him do it. But here's the thing. I'm not going to fault him for trying something. Right? He almost went full like 8th grade speech contest. Webster's dictionary defines insanity as doing the same thing repeatedly and expecting different results. Hi, my name is Frank Reich, and I'm here to tell you about offensive football. Like, he didn't quite go there, but I get you want to try something. So I'm not gonna knock him for it. Mm-hmm. If it doesn't work, if you simplify it way down and it doesn't work, the next week or the next month, try something different.
Yeah.
like check it off by default. All right, that didn't work. What do we do next? But this season is about the progress. So if we see progress, establish, and I don't care if you just say, hey, I want to see 3 touchdown passes. I want to see 300 yards. I want to see him out throw, pick your whatever, whoever you want to compare him to, Sam Howell this week. Like, I don't care what your threshold is, but say it now. So on Monday you can look at it and go, goal accomplished. Because what I'm seeing is some are just going to not like Bryce Young because they don't like Bryce Young. They've made up their mind. They've decided they'd rather have C.J. Stroud, and they have one tweet that they sent 6 months ago that says, I'd rather have C.J. Stroud, and they just want to shove that down your face and say, I told you so. You shouldn't let them, after a game where Bryce Young plays well, have them go, well, actually, the advanced analytics say that his estimated points per pass was lower than what it should have been, and his points added. Listen, what I wanted to see him do was test downfield more and not turn the ball over. He did that. I'm going to give him some credit. Mm-hmm. Stand on what you're complaining about. which might mean you can play again, right? If he throws 3 picks and his yards per pass attempt are 4.7, you probably want to tune in on Monday for a different reason than me being the sunshine of your afternoon. I will be the thunderstorm coming through your afternoon. But establish the parameters ahead of time.